Brilliant. So yes, welcome to this call. This is our Friday IBO bootcamp call, and this is for those of you that are looking to build a business and actually make a residual income, right? Drop a 111 if you're looking to make a residual income here in My Daily Choice. Because one thing I've learned about entrepreneurship and success is if I look at it, every millionaire doesn't just have one stream of income, right? Here in UK, especially, I've seen the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And what a phenomenal platform we're a part of that is literally giving you access to, imagine, trading, cryptocurrency. We have network marketing. You guys can actually start to promote certain products. Like in this academy, we have multiple streams of income and as an everyday person, you can really win big here. So before I get into it, I'll quickly introduce myself to every single one of you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jay Palmer, and I'm 24 years of age. And I actually got started in this platform just about a month ago, right? Similar to many of you in this call, fairly new. But I've been in the industry of business for home and trading since about 2017 October. So it's coming up to about 7 years within this industry. And I even put on my social media the other day is sometimes I don't realize how powerful residual income is. I can tell you the best feeling is where you're part of a business and you get paid every single week, right? In this company, we actually get paid every single week, every single month. And on top of that, of course, you guys, every single one of you this week, if you did the trades correctly, you guys should have made money, right? How many of you made money in Tap to Trade this week? Drop a 777. How many of you actually saw some results, especially the past few days? I in the group chats, I got crazy results. So many people made money. Definitely not every day you're gonna win in trading, but you guys can see all of the losses, ups and downs we went through throughout the week. Every single one of you, if you followed it correctly, you guys should be in some great profit so far. So what I can see here in My Daily Choice, look, we have number one is we have literally some of the best products in the industry, not just Forex and crypto, but we got a phenomenal travel club. We got phenomenal health products, supplements. Number two, we have a phenomenal compensation plan. And number three, we literally have world-class leadership part of this company. So I want you guys to really understand where you are in this company right now. Right, this company right now is fairly new in terms of a Forex side. Of course, they've been around in business for 10 years. But one of the key things I've learned about this industry is why is it that some people succeed and some people don't succeed? I want to share that with you today and certain things you can do to really change that. And the truth is, I'll be very honest with you guys. Look, you guys are all looking to build a business. I'll be very honest with you. Most people don't succeed at anything they do in life. Let's be honest, you see so many people that try and get a certain position at work, but there's only really 5-10% that make it. Same as in let's say football or music. There's so many people that are trying out there to do something. But let's be honest, there's only 5 to 10% that really succeed on a big level. And today I'm going to share with you what can separate you from the 95%, right? How many of you want to go into the top 5% of this industry? Drop a 111. And the reason why I urge you guys to go to the top 5% is because, this is what my mentor said to me, Abdullah. He says, Jay, look, if you're going to do this business and only try and make a living, it's better to work a job. That's literally what he said to us. That's literally what he said to me. So ever since he said that, I said, you know what? If I'm gonna really build this business, if I'm really gonna do it, I need to do it properly, or there's no point of me doing it at all. So look, you guys are in the right place at the right time. And I can share with you a bit. Of course, when I first started in 2017, I was a completely different person. I want you guys to understand the success you see today, whatever ranks we've achieved within such a short period of time in this company. I want you guys to, not miss out on the past six and a half years of ups and downs that I've been through to be able to get to where I am today. And I'm still learning and growing. But when I first started, is there's a few obstacles which I had in mind. There was a few obstacles which I was really struggling with. And maybe today some of you can relate with these things. And number one thing was I said to myself, I wasn't good at talking to people. Right? How many of you in this call, let's be honest, how many of you think you're not that great at talking to people or marketing or sales? Drop a 111, right? How many of you really think that today? Because that was me. That was me in 2017. I was literally not the most confident person. If I had to speak to a stranger, I'll get very nervous. I didn't know what to say. Number two is I didn't have a huge contact list, right? I didn't know thousands of people in my contact list. I maybe had 100 to 200 contacts in my phone book when I first started, right? So I didn't know a lot of people. And of course, number three is I wasn't making tens of thousands from trading, right? And I used to think that, you know what, for me to build this business, I need to make like lots of money in trading. My lifestyle completely needs to change. And then people will start to join me. And I can tell you, every successful person in this company or this industry, even after they get success, not everyone's going to join you. Right, you guys have to understand that. So these are some misconceptions. And when I first started, I remember what I did is my mentor told me to write down a list, right? How many of you have wrote down your list of maybe 50 to 100 people? Drop a 111 if you've wrote down your list. Because today what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through certain steps, complete from scratch. Like what would I do if I was you guys starting from scratch today? It doesn't matter your experience level. If you're starting from brand new, what are certain steps you can take to really build your business? Now, the number one step is, like I was saying, is you need to set yourself a goal. You need to set yourself a target where you want to be. Right now, we're halfway through July. We're halfway through July. What I would say for every single one of you, if you're not affiliate 1K, which is 10 customers, maybe set yourself a goal by the end of this month to hit affiliate 1K. If you're already affiliate 1K, maybe set yourself a target to hit affiliate 5K, so on and so forth, right? So how we're going to do this, very simple, is the first step. Once again, you're going to define where you want to go. What is your goal? Let's say you have no one in your team right now. So like I said, the focus should be affiliate 1K. Now, what is the next step? The next step, like I was saying back in 2017, my mentor told me, Jay, you need to write a list of 100 people, right? So that's the second step for you guys. Write down a list of 100 people. Now, the mistake I made was that list was on my phone. That list wasn't a physical list. And the second mistake I made was I was calling everyone and I was texting everyone, but I was saying and texting the complete wrong things. Right? This is literally what I did. When I wrote that list down, I started calling everyone. And let's say one of my close friends, example, let's say John, right? If let's say John is my close friend, I was calling him. Hey John, how's it going? Listen, I just started this trading platform. It's like 100 to 200 pound to start. They have this tap to trade feature, this software, like you can make money by referring people. And one of my mentors is doing really well. Let's organize a call. And you know what I did? That's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, is they give away too much information, right? So I want you guys to learn off my mistakes and the mistakes a lot of people have made. Is there's a certain technique on how to invite people, which I'm going to share with you. So once you've wrote down that list of 100 people, and the first 10 to 20 people should be people that are ambitious, people that are motivated, people that are always wanting to do something, people that are fed up of their jobs, people with a positive mentality. Those are the sort of 100 people you want to have on your list. Now, if you're telling me, Jay, look, I don't know 100 people, I guarantee you, if you go on your phone contact list, you can check every single one of you should have at least probably about 100 to 200 contacts on your phone contact list. So I want you guys after this call is literally you can go on your phone contacts and you can literally work your way through your phone contacts and write that list of 100 people. Now, the next step is you have to invite them to see some information. You need to invite them to see some information. Now, I want you guys to understand something. I don't want you guys to prejudge anyone because I want you guys to think for a moment, what if someone prejudged you? What if someone prejudged me, example? Let's say someone prejudged, let's say Mandeep, right? Let's say, someone said she's working too much, she has a full-time job, she's doing another business. I don't think she'll do this, so I'm not gonna call her. Right? So my point is don't prejudge anyone because imagine if someone prejudged you. You guys wouldn't be part of this platform, right? That's a misconception. Sometimes in this industry, the people you least expect to do this business, they're gonna do it. And the people you're like, you know what, he or she would definitely do it. Many times you'll see they don't do it, right? So don't prejudge anyone. Now, going back to my point is you need to invite them. There's a certain system, there's a certain method that we use in our team to invite people to see the information. Now, you have to understand, inviting and presenting are completely different. Inviting and presenting are completely different. What do I mean by inviting? Inviting is the agenda is to get them in front of some information that they can see the presentation. Okay, so where can you invite them to as someone in this business? Number one, you can invite them to a Zoom call, a Zoom presentation, maybe a one-to-one Zoom call with your mentor, right? That's probably the most simple and the one which most people use. Secondly, you could invite them to an actual physical meeting, maybe with your mentor in person. A lot of you have local leaders. You can invite them in person to actually in front of your mentor to share the presentation. Now, the third one, which we're actually having tomorrow, is a physical event. Now, of course, in other parts of the world right now, we don't have weekly or monthly events at the moment. But of course, here in London, tomorrow we have a physical event. People are coming from all across UK to be at this event, and that is a great opportunity for you guys to expose this business to your guests. Now, how do you get them down? How do you get them to come and see the information? I'm going to share with you on a whiteboard 4 steps that maybe is worth writing down as well, because I still use these 4 steps. It's not about the company, product, service. Like this is literally what you can use promoting any product, right? So how to invite. Step number 1. I'm just going to put points. So number 1 is you need to be in a hurry. Number 2 is clear their schedule. Number 3 is add value. Number 4 is take it away. These are 4 steps you can use to invite anyone. When I mean anyone, I mean literally anyone to come and see some information about this business. Okay, so let's do number 1 is you need to be in a hurry. Now, bear in mind, this invitation process, it cannot be done on text. I want you guys to understand that you can't text people when you're building this business. You need to pick up the phone and start calling people. Now, before I go into this, what if you haven't spoken to them in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years? Yes, it will be a bit random if you call them randomly, you know? So, if you haven't spoken to them in a long time, maybe send them a message. Hey, how's it going? Long time. What have you been up to? Just build a bit of conversation on WhatsApp, right? Let's say if you're following them on Instagram, maybe reply to one of their stories so at least you can break the ice and then you can go into this process. Okay, so let's say, just an example, let's say Victoria. Let's say Victoria is one of my close friends. We speak every now and then. How would I invite her? Number one, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to be in a hurry. Now, what am I going to say? This is literally what I'm going to say is, hey, Victoria, how's it going? Listen, I'm a bit busy right now. Okay, that's the first thing. You're going to pick up the phone. Hey, how's it going? Listen, I'm a bit busy right now. So you're going to let them know at the start of a phone call that you're busy. You're not going to say, hey, how are you? How's family? This is this. Why? Because there's a method behind this. There's a method behind this. So, number one, be in a hurry. Number two, clear their schedule. So don't ask them, when are you free? Right? What do people say? Type in the chat box. What do people say when you ask them, when are you free? 9 times out of 10, you know what they say? Is they say, I will let you know. They will say, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you. Right? But here's what's powerful. If you give them two options that suit you, they're definitely going to pick one time. So what I usually do, I don't ask people, when are you free? I tell them, look, are you free tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m.? Which time are you free? So I'm going to give them two times that suit my schedule. Now, let's say Victoria says, oh, I'm free at 8 p.m. Why? She's going to ask why. Number three, you're going to add value, which means you're going to give them a bit of information to make them curious. Okay, people are only going to come to see this information if they are curious. So your job is to make them curious. Now, how do you make them curious? Is you need to give them a bit of information. So what sort of information could I give someone? I could say, look, I'm launching this massive project here in London, and I know you can do so well. Right? What's another thing you can say? You can say, you know what, I've just launched a project here in London, a woman empowerment project here in London. I know you can do so well at this. Right? Let's say you're speaking to someone from the Nepalese community. I could say, listen, I've just launched this massive project within the Nepalese community. I know you can do so well at this. Right? Let's say if I'm speaking to someone from the Nigerian community, I would say, look, I'm just launching this massive project for the Nigerian community. I know you can do so well at this. Right? Does that make sense so far? With certain examples you could give. Drop a 111 if that makes sense so far, what you can say. And can you see I'm not talking about business, investing, trading, network marketing, sales. I'm not talking about any of that. Right? Now, they're probably going to say, after you've said your line, that I'm launching a project, I know you can do so well at this, they're going to ask you again, what is it? They're going to ask you, what is it? This is where you're going to take it away. And naturally, look, every single one of you in this call, including myself, we always want what we can't have. This is human nature. You know, if I bring your favorite fruit in front of you and I take it away, you're gonna want it more, right? You're gonna crave it. So same way here, you're sort of making them curious and you're taking it away so they come and see the information. That's the method behind this. So taking it away, what does that mean? Once you've said, look, I'm launching a massive project, I know you can do so well at this, they're usually gonna ask, oh, what is it? Tell me a bit more. You're gonna say, look, like I said, I'm a bit busy right now. Listen, tomorrow 8 p.m. you said you're free. Let's speak properly then, and then we'll catch up tomorrow. And if they ask, what is it? Once again, this is why I want you guys to pay attention to the first point. Why did we start off being in a hurry? We started being in a hurry because we know all of these questions, objections, they're gonna come anyway. So imagine by you being in a hurry at the start, you've already dealt with all of objections. You don't need to answer any questions because you're in a hurry. So these are the 4 steps that I personally use to invite people. Now, once you have booked that meeting, the next step is usually, look, if you're starting off and you haven't got anyone in your business yet, what I recommend just for the first few people is to leverage your mentor. Okay, so this leads me on to the next skill is you need to get good at edifying. It's called edification. Okay, so now let's say you booked with Zoom tomorrow, 2 p.m. with, let's say Mandeep's doing a presentation. Let's say she's your mentor. This is you. This is Mandeep, and this is your guest, right? So you and Mandeep, you know each other. As an example, you and your mentor, you know each other. You and your guest, you know each other. But the thing is, Mandeep or your mentor and your guest, they don't know each other, right? They don't know each other. I imagine, let's say, let's name any celebrity. Let's say Rihanna. Let's say if you don't know who Rihanna is and she's sitting next to you, you're going to treat her like a completely normal person. But what if your friend said to you that, you know what, sitting next to you is like the number one music artist in the world. She's like a multi-billionaire. She's done this. She's super famous. Like straight away, the way you're sitting and the way you treat her is going to be completely different. So the same way is you need to introduce your mentor. You need to introduce your mentor and explain to your guest who they are. So let's say the Zoom call starts or the meeting starts. Your job is to introduce your mentor first. So let's say the guest is John, just as an example. And let's say I'm the one introducing John to my mentor. Is I would say, look, this is actually John, this is one of my mentors. I just managed to get some of her time. She's super successful. She's been in this business much longer than I have. And she's helping so many people all across the world in UK, USA, Canada. She's got like an international team. And like I said, she's super busy and she's the best person to explain this information to you. Okay, so you don't need to edify in terms of money. This person's making X amount a month. You don't need to do that. You can just say this person's hardworking, has a big team, super successful, super busy, helping lots of people. These are some points you can mention. And then your next step is you need to introduce your guest, let's say John, you need to introduce to your mentor. In this case is Mandeep, right? So you'll say, you know what, this is Mandeep, this is my friend John. We've known each other for past 6 years, and you know, I really think he can do something big in his project. So Mandeep, thank you for taking your time out. I'm going to pass it on to you, and I'm going to let you guys continue. So now what you've done, you have built this connection between your guest and your mentor. Now your job is, this is an important thing now, is many times I see in presentations, the person that's leveraging the mentor, the person that brought the guest, many times you'll see they'll start interrupting or trying to add their part to it. What I would say, look, if you're the one utilizing your mentor, from this point onwards until they get started or until the end, you really don't need to say anything. And what I would do, I would spend that time observing how my mentor is presenting. That's very important. So in this case, if I introduced a guest, I would be observing and taking notes. How is Mandeep presenting? What words did she use? How did she go through the slides? What was her tonality? Like I'm gonna literally observe how she's doing it. Why? Because eventually you're going to start to do this yourself. Eventually, you're going to do the same process with your teams. So how can you expect to really learn this if you're not paying attention? So this is a really key thing, is you need to observe how your mentor is presenting. Okay, so this is a second step is that we need to do. So you've wrote the list, you've invited them using this technique, you've edified your mentor correctly. Okay, now the next step is, of course, we need to present the business. Now, in this case, once again, if you're starting out, your mentor is going to be presenting. But I'll give you guys some tips on how to present a business. There's so many different ways of presenting, so many different ways. You can use slides, you can go through the website. What I would say is there's three parts of a presentation. You have an open, you have a main part, and then you have a close. These are the three parts of a presentation. Now, you got to understand, look, in today's day and age, people's attention span is literally going less and less and less every single day, believe it or not. People don't want to sit there for 2 hours listening to a presentation. They don't want to sit there for 1 hour even listening to a presentation. You got to make sure that you wrap up the presentation in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes. Why? Because number one is, like I said, they're gonna lose attention, right? You literally have 20 to 30 minutes to capture their attention and help them make a decision. So keep your presentation just 30 minutes. Okay, so now how do you open a presentation? Is you need to have a conversation with them. Let's say if you're the one presenting, have a conversation with them, speak for a couple minutes, get to know them, ask them what their goals are, right? And of course, introduce yourself, tell them a bit about your story. So this can be more of you telling them a bit about your story. One thing I've learned is, look, facts tell, stories sell. People will more likely buy into your story more than anything. So even if you started this a week ago, a month ago, start to create your story. Let's say, example, that you're working in the NHS as a nurse. You could say, you know what? I actually just got started in this academy about 3 weeks ago. One of my close friends introduced me to this, and I'm still working full time as a nurse. And I was working literally day shift, night shift. I was putting so much time into this, and I was thinking, you know, is this something I'm gonna do for the rest of my life? But thank God I found something different. I found an opportunity that I really feel that can make a big difference in my life. So just as an example, start to create your story. What is your story? Okay, the next part is you're gonna go into the main information. This is where you can go through the slides. Okay, if you don't have the slides right now, I definitely recommend ask your mentor and they can send you the slides, right? Here, you're just gonna go through what the company is. Okay, so you're gonna talk about the company. You're gonna talk about the products. You're gonna talk about the services. Services. These are the three main things you're gonna talk about. The company, products, and services. So this is where you're gonna talk about, okay, a car system has basic videos, you know, you're going to talk about the softwares and tap to trade. Now, when you're talking about these, what I want you to focus on, don't focus so much on the facts and figures. Focus on the benefits that these products and services can give them. Okay, so just as an example, let's say I'm talking about tap to trade. I could say, you know what, tap to trade has like a 90% success rate, and 9 out of 10 trades are winning, and you can make money. That could be one way of doing it, and that could be a way you could use. But what I would suggest is find a benefit that they'll have by using tap to trade. So you could say, you know what, many times when it comes to trading, people don't have time to look at the charts, right? People don't have time to analyze and be on their phone all day. Guess what? Tap to trade, this solves the problem with time. You don't need time. You literally just need to click a button and you can actually start to do trading and same time you're learning on the side. So just emphasize the benefits of those things. Now, finally, is the closing point. Let's say you've done the presentation now. You've done the presentation. And this is something I struggled with, especially on my first 1 year, I would say, is I did a presentation, but I struggled to get people started. Okay, so how can you get them started? Is how you got to close them. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to force them. That's not what we're teaching here. You have to close them. You have to help them make a decision. Let's be honest. Most people can't make a decision for themselves. So you have to help them make a decision. That's what closing is. So how do you close someone? Ask two questions. What was your favorite part? Okay, that is the first thing you're gonna say. Once you've done the presentation, you're not gonna ask them, what do you think? Because most people are thinking, I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't know how trading works. I don't know what a pip is. I've never done trading. You know, this is literally what they're thinking. Most people are thinking negative every single day. But guess what? If you switch this around and you ask them, what is your favorite part? They're only going to give you a positive response. They're going to actually start to think, okay, what is good about this? So they may say, you know what? I like the tap to trade. Okay, and whatever they say, just agree with it, or maybe even elaborate a bit on it. Show them the tap to trade, how simple it is to use it. Right? Once you've done this, the next step is you're going to tell them, let's go ahead and get you started. Let's go ahead and get you started. Now, this is an important part. It's not about what you say, it's about the way you say it. Many times you'll see people will say, you know, are you sure you want to get started today? Some people actually ask that. Are you sure you're ready today to get started? Or do you need to think about it? Do you need some time? So you don't want to do that. You want to tell them, once they've told their favorite part and you've agreed with it, you need to say, look, let's go ahead and let's get you started today. Let's make a 90-day game plan. How does that sound for you? That's usually what I say. Now, after that, yes, many times you're going to get objections. Many times people won't sign up straight away. Many of you in this call, maybe you didn't start straight away. Okay, so you can learn how to handle objections, but you know the more simpler way is once you present it, is you gotta follow you gotta follow up. You gotta follow up. Look, they say, you've heard it many times before, the fortune is in the follow-up. And it's so true. I have personally signed people that have joined 4 years later, 5 years later, 6 months later. You'll see many times people don't start straight away. It's completely normal. So you need to follow up. How do you follow up? Very simple. You always want to, I'm going to write this here, always want to invite to next exposure. What does that mean? It means, let's say I presented, let's say I can just see Victoria. Let's say I presented Victoria. Now, if I presented her today and she says, Jay, you know what? I need to see some information. I just need a couple days to, you know, look over some stuff. What I'm gonna do before she leaves that meeting, before she leaves that call, I'm gonna book a meeting from that meeting. So let's say Victoria says, you know what, I need 2 days. I'm gonna ask her, listen, you need 2 days. That's completely fine. I'll give you some more information. But like you said, 2 days. Why don't we speak on Friday at 8 p.m. and we can go over any questions that you have? So can you see what I've done? Because a mistake I used to make in my early years is I'll just let them go. I'll say, okay, no problem. If you need to think about it, I'll give you some info and let me know if you're interested. I'll be honest, that way it doesn't work. Not many people come back to you. But if you book another meeting and you keep them in the loop, you'll see eventually they'll get started, right? Now, let's say they're still not ready after you've booked that second follow-up call. What you could do is you could invite them maybe to a Zoom with mentor. These are some ways, I'm giving you some ideas that you can use to close some people. Zoom with mentor. Sometimes they need to hear a third voice. Sometimes they need to hear someone similar to them. So find someone in your leadership or your team that could maybe relate with that certain person. That could be a good way. Um, Another place you could invite them to a one-to-one meeting in person. You could invite them for a coffee and sit down with them. You'll see many times when you meet someone face to face, it has a different impact, right? Because that trust is there now. Another way is events. Events is the most powerful, I would say, because they're seeing different testimonials. The energy is different. They're going to see the bigger picture of what's possible. So these are certain things that you guys can do to follow up. Okay, these are certain things you guys can start to do to follow up. So far, before I go any further, is this making sense with you guys? Drop a 111 if you guys are finding this helpful. Maybe you learned something today. And look, many of you have probably heard this before, especially the people that have been in this industry. But this is literally all we do. We don't do any rocket science. We don't do any different way from what we're teaching you here today. These are the steps that most of the leaders here in My Daily Choice, this is what they're doing. So I want you guys to understand that there's no special method for your type of people. Many times I hear, because I meet so many different communities, everyone says, oh, my community is slightly different, right? How many of you have said that before to your mentor? Drop a 111. You said, you know what, my Indian community is different. My Nepalese community is different. My Nigerian community is different. The English community is different. Look, guys, I can tell you, all of our communities, all of our cultures, everything, it's very similar. It's very similar. There's always people that don't want to do this. There's always people that are skeptical. There's always people that will maybe even waste your time. But this is one of the key things I've learned in this industry is make up in numbers what you lack in skill. One of the best audios I recommend to all of you is called Building Your Business, Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. And he said, I don't know the exact line, but he said, don't concern with yourself with all of these reasons why people didn't join, why they didn't start. That's not up to you. Your job in this business is really to expose as many people to the information, and the ones that are going to do it, they're going to do it. The ones that aren't going to do it, they're not going to do it. It's okay. Don't concern yourself with why they're not doing it. Just focus on going through the numbers, right? There was a training I attended a couple months back at one of the conventions, and there was a guy that had a whole deck of cards. Now, I don't play cards, but so I don't really know how many cards I actually in a deck. But he said, look, in a deck of cards, you have so many ones, twos, threes, four, five, six, seven, but you have very few that are aces. I think there's like 4 aces in a deck of cards, if I'm correct. Out of like 50 plus cards, there's only 4. So point is, what do you need to do? You need to keep flipping the card, right? Maybe you'll present someone and let's say on their level of being serious about this business is maybe a 1 out of 10. You speak to another person, you flip another card. Maybe that person's not too bad. Maybe they're 5 out of 10. But if you keep flipping the cards, eventually you're gonna find someone like you in the business. You're gonna find someone like Abdullah in the business. Imagine that. How many of you guys would want an Abdullah Sandu in your business? Drop a 111. Like we would all love that, right? So the point is to be able to get someone like that, you need to keep going through the numbers. And in my first year, I'll be honest, a lot of the people I was bringing in, they weren't great people. They weren't serious. And I had to be honest with myself. Do you know why? It's because I wasn't serious. So alongside all of these skills, I want you guys to really take a look at yourself, because this business is more of, it's about you. You're the X factor. You're gonna be the one that makes a difference in this business. You're gonna be the reason why you succeed or fail in this business as well, right? And if you understand this, guess what? You have full control. So you gotta, number one, you gotta make sure that you're growing yourself every single day. right? We had a mindset call on Monday, so we're not gonna go much into mindset, but you got to develop your skills every day. How do you develop your skills? Is you got to make sure that you're at the events. Like tomorrow, whether you're in London, Birmingham, anywhere in UK, and if you're not attending this event or making it a priority, that's the first step. That's maybe even the missing piece. That's maybe stopping you from actually getting to the next level. So definitely don't miss any events. I don't think I've missed any event in my past 6.5 years in this industry that I was able to actually attend. So events, be around your mentors, right? I've learned so much by observing my mentors. Not even by them telling me what to do, just by me being around them and observing how they talk, how they deal with certain situations, right? So that proximity is power. A lot of you, especially here in UK, Europe, you guys have phenomenal leaders and mentors that you can meet, that you can sit with, that you can spend time with. And during that time, I want you guys to start to become more aware. Don't just go to these meetings or trade houses or events and just participate. I want you guys to start to think deeper, start to pay attention. How are these successful people talking? How are they walking? How are they dressing? How are they dealing with certain situations? What is their mindset like? Like literally start to observe these different things and then start to apply it into your life, right? So keep growing yourself, keep growing your skills, right? And keep alongside this is keep building that list. I know I said 100 people. And look, probably every single one of you have 100 people in your contact list that you haven't spoken to. But let's say you have. This is the next step. Let's say you've burnt your whole warm market. Now you need to learn how to get into the cold market. You need to learn how to get into a new market. You need to make new contacts. And how can you do that? Is you got to make sure that you're speaking to new people every day. Okay. A simple thing we teach our team is you can start to go to networking events in your local city. There's an application called Eventbrite, where in your local city, whether you're Netherlands or Sweden or London, there's so many events that you guys can attend. There's mindset events, property events, entrepreneurial events, woman empowerment events, and there's events where you can connect with like-minded people, right? You can go there and talk to people. Another way which I personally use to get literally most of my contacts is Instagram, Instagram and Facebook, right? Today's day and age, look, if you're not taking social media seriously, you're missing out massively. Nowadays, let's be honest, more people are looking at people's Instagram than their actual website nowadays, right? Back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember, people are handing out business cards. And I'll be honest, when people hand me a business card today, I laugh a bit because they haven't adapted with the times. Nowadays, it's about, okay, what's your Instagram? What's your Facebook? What's your LinkedIn? So you guys need to adapt with the times. Get yourself out there on social media. Start to post photos of yourself. Start to post videos. Start to show examples of how tap to trade works, right? Take videos of events, trade houses, put up mindset quotes. There's so many different things that you guys can start to do on social media. But you gotta brand yourself, especially if you take a look at your Instagram. We already got many trainings on how to do this, but take a look at your Instagram and ask yourself, have you even got a photo of yourself? When was the last time you posted a photo of yourself? Is your social media active? Because think of your social media as like a shop. If a shop is empty and you're standing outside, do you think you're gonna walk inside and even attempt to buy anything? You're not, because it's empty inside. Same way here, you can't expect anyone to join your business if your shop is empty, if your page is empty, if they don't see any content, right? And you don't need to get a professional photographer. Just sit in some hotel lobby, tell one of your friends or family or team members, take a photo of you, sit in front of a laptop. That could be your first photo, right? So definitely start to use social media to build your business. Day to day, every day you guys are meeting people in Starbucks, in Costa, or a coffee shop. Every day you're meeting new people. Okay, so I want you guys to just pay attention to these small few things and start to build that list every single day. I can share with you when I first started my phone book, I had 100 contacts. And this is 6.5 years. Now, when I first started, it was 100 contacts. Today, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is 6,432 contacts. So once again, this is 6.5 years of work that I've put in to be able to build up this contact list. So imagine if you guys start today. Imagine your contact list in the next 6 months, even in the next 1 year, in the next 6 years. Like your contact list, your network is going to be so big. And what do they say? Your network is going to be your net worth. So really focus on these certain things. And same time, going back to developing yourself is, look, as a leader in this business, you need to learn one of the most important things that we all need to learn is communication. So you got to understand every person you speak to, they are all different. I can tell you there's 24 people on this call right now. All of you are completely different from one another. Like maybe you have similarities, but the way I talk to each and every one of you, I can't talk the same way with every single person, right? So as a leader, you got to sort of learn how to communicate with different types of people, different age ranges, different communities. You got to learn how to get along with people, right? Because understand, people will only follow people that they like doing business with. People only like doing business with people that they like being around. So as a leader, there's certain characteristics I'm going to leave you guys with that will make a big difference. Is number one is you need to have a pleasing personality, right? Doesn't mean everyone has to like you, but you have to be a somewhat likable person. If someone doesn't like the way you are, or if you're very aggressive, I'm gonna tell you, no one's really gonna listen to you as much as you want. People aren't gonna follow you as much as you want. So you need to have a pleasing personality. Number two is you need to have a strong work ethic, right? This industry, it does take work. I know, of course, trading, we're doing this all for freedom and it's great. And many of you are already making great money in trading. But if we're talking about doing something big in this business, doesn't mean you have to put 10 hours a day, but put aside 1-2 hours a day, especially if you're working full time, you can easily put 1 to 2 hours a day into this business. So have a strong work ethic, right? Every leader has a very strong work ethic. Alongside this, be teachable and coachable. Always be willing to learn. I can tell you is you will never know it all. You'll never know all the information. You may think that even when you get to a certain position that you may think you know everything, but I can tell you there's always another level that you can go to. So be teachable and coachable. Listen to the people that have done it, right? Sometimes Abdullah tells me certain things to do, and in the back of my head, sometimes it annoys me the things he tells me to do. Sometimes it feels a bit uncomfortable, the things he tells me to do. But I know he's telling me these certain things because he's been where I was, right? And he has the results that I want. So if you haven't got the results that you want right now, I can tell you the last person you should be taking advice from is yourself. Why? Because if you keep taking advice of yourself and how you feel and what you think is best, you know what's gonna happen? You're never gonna really grow, and you're never really gonna have that mentorship. So you're gonna make sure whoever your mentor is, start to follow them. Have humility, listen to them, sit with them, take advice, start to apply it. And finally, you have to be willing to change who you are. Many of us, when we first start this business, like I was saying at the start, my self-image was, you know what? I'm not confident. I don't know a lot of people. I'm not good at talking. All of these different things I was telling myself. And I had to sort of reinvent the way I saw myself. Because you got to understand the way you see yourself is the way other people are going to see you. So if you see yourself as, oh, I'm not confident, guess what? The people around you, your team, your prospects, they're going to see you as not confident. But here's a crazy thing. If you start to literally act like that person today, like if you just start to act like you're confident, if you just start to act successful today, guess what? Other people are going to see you the same way. So that goes back to your self-image, is work on your self-image. Have a winner's mentality. This isn't just about my daily choice or trading or network marketing in anything in life. Is you need to have a winner's mentality that whatever you do in life, like literally anything, that you're gonna go ahead and win in everything. That's the sort of mentality that every single one of us need to develop. So this was about 1 hour call. Hope you guys found some value. I went over some basics today, and these are the main skills. There's literally no rocket science. There's no crazy skills that you need to learn. There's only certain skills, which is of course write your list, learn how to invite, edify, present, follow up, close, social media, your mindset, certain characteristics I gave you guys of how to become a good leader. And now the key thing is you go ahead and you take your notes from this call and literally start to put it in action. You're going to learn more from doing than being on any call like this. I can tell you, I've learned so much more just by doing, by failing, by taking action. That's the best way to learn. And these calls can sort of help you sort of redirect yourself and see maybe what is missing in your business. So I want to thank you guys for plugging on, staying on this call for 1 hour. I'm super excited for tomorrow's event. I'll see every single one of you there. We still have a couple hours left. So anyone you know in London, make sure they're there at the event. Like I said, Joel is coming all the way from Mexico. So we can at least come from somewhere in UK to actually be at the event. So see you guys tomorrow and have a great evening. Take care.